Medill names its incoming interim dean, and his history with Medill goes back over 2 decades.
Students react to 2 men speaking against homosexuality at the Arch.
And Northwestern's Thai Student Association celebrates Thai food and culture at its annual Thai Night.
We'll have those stories and more coming up on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news right now.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Beck.
And I'm Matt Stunn. Thank you for joining us. We begin our show tonight with an update on the tragic loss our campus suffered earlier this year. According to the Daily Northwestern, the Cook County Medical Examiner released on Wednesday that CESP junior Kenzie Crow died in February by suicide as a result of a toxic combination of alcohol and 2 prescription medications. Crow passed away on February 25th, about 24 hours after her friends took her to St. Francis Hospital in Evanston. The 20-year-old North Carolina native had told them that she was not feeling well. The Daily reports that the Evanston Police Department won't close the investigation into Crow's death until more information can be released from the medical examiner's office. Crow is remembered by family and friends as being selfless, compassionate, and genuine.
Medill announced its new interim dean Wednesday, and his familiar face has been a fixture in Medill since he was an undergrad back in 1976. Professor Charles Whitaker was named interim dean of Medill after teaching at the school for nearly 25 years. Whitaker began his time at Medill as a student, where he would go on to receive both his bachelor's and master's degrees. He also has served as an associate dean of Medill, a director of the Medill Graduate Program for Magazine Publishing, and chair of the Helen Gurley Brown magazine. As a Medill professor, Whitaker teaches classes on news, magazine writing, and blogging. Whitaker says he wants to ensure that the journalism community feels supported and empowered by the administration.
Sometimes I think the Medill community, because we're journalists, and journalists by nature are churls, we have a tendency not to appreciate all of the wonderful qualities that we have as a community. Community is really important to me. So I'm hoping to galvanize the community, to help it to realize what a really special place it is.
Brad Ham announced his resignation from the position at Medill on April 11th. Whitaker will assume the role on July 1st.
2 men were on campus Friday handing out flyers and engaging students in debates about homosexuality. They were stationed at the Arch with flyers titled "The Uncensored Truth About Homosexuality." The men were from Heterosexuals Organized for a Moral Environment, or HOME. Students say they come to campus once a year spreading messages against things like homosexuality and climate change. They were at the Arch most of the day until police intervened.
One of the open-minded, tolerant liberals stole all my party. That's literally a crime. It's just that I don't know who did it. But I mean, crimes were committed here, but not by me.
This guy comes and he spouts a bunch of conspiracy theories about homosexuality and global warming and all stuff like that. And so everybody just kind of goes and has a fun time devoting him, I suppose.
In response to Friday's visitors, 2 students organized Be Queer at the Arch. Yesterday, they spent an hour dancing at the Arch and inviting passing students to join them in celebrating all things LGBTQ.
Members of the Evanston community gathered Sunday night at the Northwestern Thai Students Association's annual Thai Night. From food to fun, NNN's Andy Weir was there to experience it all.
Northwestern grad student Varasara Tantrantanvud, or Tess as her American friends call her, gets a little homesick sometimes. She lives more than 8,000 miles away from her native Thailand. But Tess and other Northwestern Thai students got a little taste of home Sunday night.
It also makes me feel like home to not only eat good Thai food, but also get to meet other Thai students.
She and her friends met up at Northwestern Thai Student Association's annual Thai Night in Parks Hall.
It's just a good way to be back in Bangkok, I guess.
Attendees learned to write their names in Thai, danced to live Thai music, and of course, munched on some authentic Thai cuisine. With more than 200 attendees, this year's event was the largest yet at Northwestern. Thai Student Association co-president Pitawat Mahawattangun helps plan the event every year. He says he's elated to see this year's large turnout.
For this year, our event really got popular. There's a dramatic increase in attendance between last year and this year. This year, the audience got more engaged with the performers. People got up and danced with the dancers and then enjoyed the music. There was a lot of applause. Everybody's very happy, and that was very enjoyable to see.
But not just Thai students enjoyed the event. PhD student Megha Agarwal saw the event as an opportunity to learn more about a new culture.
I didn't get a chance to go out of my country. Being from India, I didn't get a chance to go to Thailand or to Africa or to some other country. Going to different events that make me feel like I'm in their country because I see their culture and their dance and their singing. I'm so excited about these events.
A whole new world for some and a little taste of home for others. Andy Weir, Northwestern News Network.
With the success of this year's capstone event, the Thai Student Association says it's already begun planning events for this fall.
Coming up in Money Minute, we'll explore what some people are calling the biggest challenge for American consumer brands since the invention of the internet.
And we'll take you inside the Northwestern Cooking Club's first International Food Festival.
Plus, are there blue skies ahead or is more cold rain to come? I'm Hannah Brown and I'll tell you what weather to prepare for in your 5-day weather forecast. Stay tuned.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Let's take a look at your 5-day weather forecast to see what to expect for the coming week. The thunderstorms we've been having for the past couple days should clear up into partly cloudy skies tomorrow, with a high of 70 and a low of 56. Similar temperatures and moderate cloud cover are expected Thursday and Friday, with highs of 70 and lows of 55 and 58. Things will slightly warm up on Saturday with a high of 73 and a low of 54, before dropping Sunday with a high of 64 and a low of 55. Sunshine is expected by the beginning of next week. A reminder that summer is right around the corner. I'm Hannah Brown, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast. Back to you.
Thanks, Hannah. Macaroons, shakshuka, and tortas galore. Cookology's big event of the quarter had close to 250 attendees come to celebrate and eat food from all over the world. Northwestern's Cooking Club has previously hosted events teaching students to make dishes like orange chicken, pho, and green tea tiramisu just this year. They even opened a pop-up restaurant that served up a 7-course meal in March. But Sunday was the first time they put on an international food festival. The club's co-outreach chairs David Ang and Kai Saito came up with the idea as a way to bring students together through food. Partnering with the Chinese and Korean student organization CSA and CASA, they served a variety of food, including apple pie, macaroons, scallion pancakes, and chocolate fountains. Yum! The event was almost twice as large as they expected, leaving nothing but crumbs after the first hour. Ang felt it was a resounding success.
I'm really happy that we had an even greater turnout than we expected. The food went very quickly, and it was a hit. Talking to everyone, they were happy, and it's just amazing to see my idea and Kai's idea come to fruition.
For the rest of the quarter, Cookology will return to their bi-weekly cooking lessons. To keep tabs on what the club will do next, you can check out their Facebook page at Cookology NU.
Chances are you have one of these in your house, maybe even two. Almost 20% of Americans do. We're talking about smart speakers like the Amazon Echo Dot or the Google Home speaker. More than 60 million Americans will use a smart speaker this year. That, by the way, is a remarkable number for a technology that's only about 3.5 years old. 2/3 of smart speaker owners are Team Amazon, while about 30% are Team Google. About 3/4 of Americans use their speakers to listen to music. Many also ask questions about the weather or the time, but an increasing number, about 40% or so of Americans, are using their speakers to shop. As Americans turn to Alexa to fill their pantries and their cabinets, they are shopping at traditional grocery stores less and less, and that has many consumer brands worried. So worried that some experts say Amazon's Alexa and other smart speakers on the market are the single biggest challenge for the brands since the internet was invented back in 1990. Brands are mostly worried because they have no control over which products smart speakers choose to present to Americans. That's actually up to complex algorithms that depend on a variety of factors like product ratings, prices, and shipping time. Right now, Americans buy about $2 billion worth of goods using their smart speakers, but that number is expected to balloon to a staggering $40 billion by 2022. Food and household product companies need to figure out how to compete directly with Amazon in getting their products to consumers. So far this year, the consumer staple stock sector is the S&P 500's worst performer. And huge consumer brands like General Mills, P&G, and Hershey have all dropped anywhere from 18 to 30%. This comes as Google continues to ramp up its competition with Amazon for the top spot. Michelle, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. We wanted to know what NU students think of smart speakers, so we asked you in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
Charlie Road here at The Rock for Northwestern News Network. We're here to get your opinions on smart home speakers.
I don't know, the concept is cool to be able to do everything hands-free and, place an order with your voice and that whole thing, but it also kind of freaks me out.
Oh man, I think they're pretty cool. The fact that they're always listening is pretty creepy though.
They're useful, and I think they serve a very, good purpose.
I think they're fine, but I personally would not buy one because I think they're just not super necessary for the public.
I like the concept of Alexa. I like talking to a piece of technology, and she's kind of just always there for me. At the same time, it is a little creepy.
I think they sound pretty cool. I don't have one, but I'd probably buy one.
I think it's super interesting, but I'm kind of scared of them listening to all my conversations.
I don't know if I want Jeff Bezos in my room considering how powerful he is. Don't trust men with very little hair.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at _news.
After the break, we show you the role electric cars play on Northwestern's campus.
And we'll introduce you to one Northwestern student whose pursuits on campus exemplify how and is in our DNA.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Last month, Northwestern was recognized by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Energy for its efforts towards reducing campus energy consumption. This week, I spoke to experts about one of the ways that NU has strived to do just that by bringing electric vehicles to campus.
You've probably seen these futuristic four-wheelers in action.
I think you see those little cart things driving around.
I know they have those zero emissions little vehicles, kind of like golf cart things that go around campus.
The golf cart things are actually all-electric club cars used by facilities management.
The windows will open. There's no air conditioning in these.
Trina Whitaker is the club car expert at the University Auto Shop. She says these vehicles are the cleaner, greener options for getting the job done.
Well, these are battery powered. So as far as there's no exhaust coming out of them, they're not, there's no engine on them.
In 2015, Northwestern purchased 4 electric club cars. Since then, it has been expanding its collection every year. According to Sustain NU, the newest batch of cars can save enough greenhouse gas emissions to power 12 U.S. homes for a year.
They're highly committed to it.
One of Northwestern's objectives towards sustainability to entirely eliminate the campus shuttle fleet's greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Now in 2018, the collection of club cars is at 26. Some may question whether it's making any noticeable gains.
It's a fairly modest investment, but certainly still a step in the right direction.
Noah Garcia is the transportation policy analyst with the Natural Resources Defense Council.
I think it's just important to recognize that electrification takes many forms, all the way from 18-wheelers and electrification of semi-trucks down to club cars and scooters and bikes.
With more companies producing all-electric equipment, Whitaker says there are more options that, quote, we're always thinking about.
Northwestern encourages everyone, not just their facilities management, to use electric vehicles. There are charging stations at both the Evanston and Chicago campuses and easy steps to follow, all available on Sustain NU's website.
When we say "and" is in our DNA, it's no exaggeration. NNN's Hyo-jung Kim brings us the story of a violin and biology dual degree pre-med student here at Northwestern.
Right after her anatomy class, Amy Blackburn heads straight to a practice room. She's a 5th-year student on the pre-med track and is also in the Weinberg B&N dual degree program.
Everyone around me, including my parents, were like, you're going to have to choose eventually, and this is something that they were saying when I was going into high school, and eventually they were like, okay, you have to choose definitely before college. And what I wanted to do was to continue doing both of those things.
And she did. In fact, she went beyond. She aced her MCAT and was also given the opportunity to perform as a soloist with an orchestra, as the winner of a concerto competition. The conductor of the orchestra, Viktor Yampolsky, attests to Blackburn's skill.
We have auditions every spring to select the best students to play concerto with the orchestra. She was always on the first stand or first violins. She was an outstanding talent.
Recalling her 5 years at Northwestern, Blackburn says keeping up with so many different things was a big challenge.
You're in like 6 to 8 credits every single quarter. You're constantly in class. It was a lot of class time and a lot of studying, and you would just try to fit in as much practicing and just free time as much as you could.
After living with Blackburn for 2 years, Michael Jaharis says he can speak to how busy and challenging her life is, and how amazed he is to witness her incredible feats.
She just never seems to stop, but always has more and more amazing improvements and accomplishments. Pretty outstanding. And then when you look at her musical accomplishments and all that she's done while being able to juggle the whole other side of it all, it's truly something.
The key to all of it was really just taking it one step at a time. I think it was easier and it was more successful to do 100% on one thing than to just be going 50% on both at all times.
That's the strategy she says she's carrying with her after college. She says she'll eventually give up music to focus on medical school, but she could return to the art form later. Hyo-jung Kim, Northwestern News Network.
That is just amazing. 5 years of a fast-paced life.
Yeah.
I mean, as if Northwestern isn't already stressful enough.
And then add on to that med school. Can you imagine what that schedule looks like?
I can't imagine, but that is incredible story
Kudos
of a student. Yeah, coming up, How Northwestern students continue playing their high school sports even if they aren't recruited as college athletes.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
If you're not coming to Northwestern as a recruited athlete, you might not have enough time to continue playing a sport you played in high school. But for some students, playing club or intramural sports is a rewarding part of their time in college. NNN's Evan Denton has more.
Many former big-time high school athletes realize their peak playing days are now distant memories. Others look ferociously for ways to continue playing their favorite sport. Sophomore Selah Holland is a prime example.
I knew that riding was not necessarily something I just wanted to do, but it's something I needed to do because it's always been my big coping mechanism for stress and all of that, and it's just been my favorite thing to do, and it was not something I was willing to let go. I literally looked up on Google to see if there was a team, and when I saw that there was, I immediately knew this is where I can go.
According to a 2017 USA Today article, 46%, nearly one half of all Division I athletes are walk-ons. Former Evanston Township High School lacrosse player Beth Parcell, finding a school that offered just varsity lacrosse was not an option.
I was thinking about playing on a varsity team, but what I wanted academically wasn't going to be what I could have played for athletically.
Junior Miles Miller took his love of volleyball a step further by becoming a team manager.
Me liking volleyball and me liking Northwestern, I got in contact with one of the assistant coaches and told him that I was a volleyball player. I love Northwestern volleyball, and I just asked if there was any way that I could help the team, and then I was the manager. It's been a great way to just keep playing, just keep having that sense of a team I think we all miss once we get out of high school.
Selah, Beth, and Miles are just the most recent Wildcats finding a way to keep their heads in the game. Evan Denton, NNN Sports.
Well, you can find details on how to get involved in the many club sports and intramurals offered here at Northwestern at www.nurecreation.com.
And after the break, what One Northwestern Theater Group is doing to make accessible theater for children with developmental differences. Stay tuned.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game.
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
A group of Northwestern students are pioneers in an emerging theatrical form that defies traditional ideas about plays and their audiences.
NNN's Joey Safchik visited Seesaw Theater, and Joey, you actually got to see a first-hand look at how they make theater available for all.
Yeah, that's right. Seesaw devised an original show called Wonderland this spring. It's an immersive piece that transforms Northwestern's Shanley Pavilion into a multi-sensory space, where all the world is a stage for audiences with and without disabilities.
Raise up the sail, we're on.
This is a song from Wonderland, Seesaw Theater's spring musical. For the past 6 years, Seesaw has been working to make theater experiences that are accessible to children with special needs, specifically autism.
Accessible theater is possible. We're students that are doing it every year.
Rachel Seidenberg directed Wonderland, which held public performances on campus this weekend. 7 special needs classrooms from the Evanston-Skokie School District also took field trips to Shanley Pavilion to experience the magic of the play.
It's so wonderful. It's so great. My entire job is hanging out with kids all day and like dressing up like a pixie, so I'm living my best life, basically.
Theater and Gender Studies major Lindsay Weiss, or the Pixie, likes interacting with audience members by encouraging them to play with the colorful, sensory-stimulating props.
I think the same desire for inclusion and desire for diversity and even multiculturalism that applies to every marginalized group's representation in arts also really needs to apply to disabled people.
For Seesaw, it's not just about the dialogue or plot. They really want to give each audience member an individual experience, so they encourage them to come up and touch the texture wall during the show. They can pop bubble wrap, pull on rope, or go into the cave.
Seesaw provides an opportunity for people to explore things in the way that they want to explore it.
Wonderland is all about audience interaction with the space. Ellie Levine is the head adventure guide, one of half a dozen Seesaw members who are paired with audience members to ensure that everyone is having a magical time that is customized to meet their needs.
If you have an audience member who really loves sound, you can kind of tailor the show to be really centered around sound. And it's just so wonderful to look around and see each audience member being taken care of by another person.
Seesaw is working to create theater that is accessible and, in this case, quite literally spellbinding for all. Last year, Seesaw had its first full year of programming, which included leading about 60 drama workshops in Chicago area classrooms. Overall, they've gone from reaching 12 students with autism in one season to reaching about 150 students on their 6th year on campus.
So Joey, the language that is used to talk about this theater is pretty specific.
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so they call these performances multisensory. They used to call them relaxed performances, but Seesaw wants to make it abundantly clear that these aren't shows that they're creating and then changing to suit audiences with special needs. They are building these shows to be inclusive of these populations and communities. So students and audience members are encouraged to stand up and embrace their developmental differences and their impulses and specific needs. The show allows the kids to interact with the props and run around the space, removing a lot of the constraints of a traditional theater setting that might be challenging for them to experience.
Well, thank you, Joey.
And that's all the time we have for tonight. For all of us here at NNN, I'm Michelle Beck.
I'm Matt Dunn.
And I'm Joey Safchik.
Good night.
That was good.